Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this special transmission where we're covering the elections 2024. But as we have already told you, these are unconfirmed results until and unless the notification comes from the Election Commission of Pakistan. Despite the fact that these are of course published by the Election Commission of Pakistan, this is the protocol that we follow, that we call these results unofficial and unconfirmed until and unless the notification, the official notification comes from the Election Commission of Pakistan. We did give you a little outlook on the number of seats and positions as a couple of minutes back before the news came at 5, and we were telling you that 61 independents have won their respective seats, while 43 seats have been won by PMLN, 38 by the Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians, and then that was followed by the MQMP, and other seats were around 2 in number. As far as the number of seats, 148 results have been compiled by the Election Commission of Pakistan, and the rest are pouring in as we speak. And we also know about the little the meeting with the press of our federal ministers that also happened, in which they explained as to why the mobile phones had been suspended and why the services were suspended yesterday during polling time. And of course they mentioned security as the main concern, and due to which certain decisions had to be taken at the last moment. We've been joined for this very hour by two guests. One is a political expert, and not a political but a political economic expert. He is Dr. Usman Chohan. He's a political economist. Thank you very much, Usman, to have joined us. Your mother also a very renowned former ambassador and a foreign affairs expert, so of course welcome to our show. And our second guest is Namrah. Sohail. She's a reporter, and she continues to give us more information as far as the whole process of elections, how they went along, and what was her first-hand experience. Thank you very much, Namrah, to have joined us as well. Usman, let's begin with you. Usman, whichever government comes into power and the results are pouring in, and everybody is saying that it's going to be a very stringent time for the government that comes into power, because it has to handle many things, especially economy, the relationship with lenders like the IMF, the World Bank, the AIIB, and of course also handling and strengthening Pakistan's economy from the inside to make it an export-based economy, which has been what a lot of political parties have been claiming in the last few years as well. How much of that is achievable? What should be the way forward? How should the political party or parties that come into power, whether it is one political party or it's a coalition, how should they maneuver in order to strengthen our economy?
It's an excellent question that you have posed, because the challenge ahead is a serious one, of course. But I am very confident that the road ahead will be one paved with prosperity for Pakistan. And the job is easier when there is one political party which is committed to the cause. When you have a coalition, making decisions becomes more difficult because you have to appease more stakeholders, and blame shifting becomes easier because you can simply say that those other people in our coalition were not cooperating. So it becomes a harder challenge, but still it is entirely surmountable. Now, insofar as the economy goes going forward, we've had 2 rough years, but we always continue to see things getting better since then. And I'm very confident that things are going to be better, not just for Pakistan, but for the world economy as a whole, which will help us substantially.
But there are so many conflicts. You still feel to be cautiously or cautiously optimistic or properly optimistic as far as the economy is concerned?
That is a good point, that there are disruptions that have come since 2021 that are very significant, and they have posed challenges for the world community. And these hiccups are very, very serious. But the fact is that I think we've borne the brunt of the major ones, the biggest one being the pandemic. And after that, the conflicts that have emerged have, for example, impacted energy prices and inflation. And we continue to have very high inflation in Pakistan. So any government that comes has to take this as its utmost priority to make the burden on the consumers, the salaryman, the taxpayer less, so that their families can live better lives.
All right, Namrah, I'm going to kind of change to a completely different tangent with you. Well, you were, reporting in the field from NA46, and you were going to the different polling stations. What was your first impression as a layman, as a citizen, as to how things were moving along? Do you have some experiences that you'd like to share with us, some stories? What was the basic, enthusiasm of the people? Did they have any grievances with regards to the polling staff or with the polling process? Kindly highlight us on some of those examples.
Well, Umar, when I went, because a reporter is the first person to go in the field when you have to cover such big stuff. So I was there like 6:30 in the morning, and it was still dark, and I wasn't really expecting people to be waking up so early and coming to the polling stations. But 8 o'clock was the official time, and people were there around 7:30. So people had already queued outside the schools, which were the polling stations, and largely women. So that is one aspect that women had started pouring in, and when I was standing at the G104 postgraduate college, which had 12 booths, so it had 4 for women, 4 for men, and 4 combined. So the second person that I saw, there were 2 ladies coming, who were the first people to come, to vote, and the second person was I saw was on clutches. So she was a lady. So I was very impressed by how the turnout is coming out, as far as the women are concerned, and also men. So we do understand that there has been a shift in recognizing what your duty as a citizen.
That is, I think, very important, Namrah. We'll continue our conversation. We have to go to some results. Let's post those results now. My producer is telling me that we have some new results. PP 155 Lahore, this is the Provincial Assembly seat. Imtiaz Mahmood, who's an independent candidate, has won. The vote tally that he has gotten in his favor is 36,717. So Imtiaz Mahmood, an independent candidate from Lahore, wins the Provincial Assembly seat PP 155. Next is Hyderabad. We go and we change province and go to Sindh, where the Provincial Assembly seat PS 65 has been won by Nasir Hussain Qureshi of the MQMP, garnering a total vote number of 23,184. Nasir Hussain Qureshi from the MQMP has won this seat. Now let's go to Larkana, also in Sindh, PS 1313, won by Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians Adil Altaf Unnar, with the vote count of 89,662 in his favor. The Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians wins the seat, PS 13 Larkana. And now it's PS2 Jacobabad. We are still in Sindh. Pakistan People's Party parliamentarian has again won another Provincial Assembly seat through Sohrab Khan Sarki with a vote count of 53,298. This is, of course, the Jacobabad seat, PS2, won by the Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians. And now we go to Hyderabad. We are still in Sindh. PS 63, Muhammad Rehman Rajput, who is an independent candidate, has won this Provincial Assembly seat, garnering a total vote count of 40,306 votes in his favor. Muhammad Rehman Rajput, an independent candidate, wins this seat. PS 108, Karachi South. This Provincial Assembly seat has been won by Muhammad Dilawar with a total vote count of 20,014 in his favor. So MQMP wins this seat. Muhammad Dilawar is the winner. PS 60, Hyderabad, Sindh. Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians Jam Khan Shoro wins this seat. 37,538 votes have gone in his favor, which have led him to claim this Provincial Assembly seat, PS 60, Hyderabad. These were some of the results, and we'll go back to our panel. Yes, Namrah, you were giving me some examples, some situations that were there.
As far as the security is concerned, there were, as you know, there were 3 tiers, and they were very well managed. And even the police was also helping out those who could not walk, those who could not, those who had problem finding their numbers, their house numbers, their silsila and the gharana numbers. So it was something that I did not. This was the first time that I saw things done so efficiently.
All right.
Yeah.
There was proper assistance available.
It was proper assistance available, and there, when I was standing inside a polling station, and there was a query for a lady, and she, the high official DC was visiting, and people were so relaxed. She just went up to the DC, to tell her query, and it was the situation, the environment was pretty much friendly.
And there was also this feeling that you could access any official,
any
high official, if there was any issue whatsoever with the whole polling process.
Yes, that is true. So, and another thing is that I talked to many people who were casting their votes for the first time.
Okay.
There was this boy who showed me his CNIC, and he had turned 18, and he was like, he's like, I'm very happy. His father was really old somehow.
Okay.
And he was helping his father, and he was very enthusiastic to vote for the first time. And when I was talking to him, I was trying to ask him which party do you like and which candidate is your favorite, and then he told me that does not matter. I mean, obviously I do have a liking for a certain candidate, or I'm here to vote for a certain candidate, but what matters is that I vote. Whosoever I vote for, that's not important, but my voting for the first time and fulfilling my constitutional duty is something that really matters.
This realization is very important. Usman, this realization of the whole voting process, that you need to vote, that you need to contribute as a citizen of Pakistan to determine which candidate eventually or comes into power, or even if he or she does not, that you have been part of that whole process. How important is that, and how important is the whole mechanism of the whole of this voting process that has gone quite smoothly?
It is the most important argument in favor of democracy, is that it makes people get the sense that they are a part of a whole. And even if you are somebody of a disprivileged background, lower caste, marginalized, whatever, you still should feel that you alone are making a decision that will change the course of your people's destiny as a whole.
All right, Usman, we'll continue our conversation. We have some more results to share with our audience. Let's bring them on. NA 127, Lahore 11, or Lahore 2. Winner is PMLN's Ataullah Tadar. Okay, NA 127, Lahore, this is a National Assembly seat, has been won by PMLN's Ataullah Tadar. The total vote count that has gone in his favor is 98,210. Ataullah Tadar from PMLN wins this seat. The runner-up has been Malik Zahir Abbas from who is an independent candidate with a vote count that went in his favor of 82,230. So there's around more or less 16,000 difference in the votes between these two, with a clear winner that has been the PMLN through Ataullah Tadar. NA 129, Lahore 13, the winner is Mia Muhammad Azhar. He's an independent candidate. The vote tally in his favor is 103,718. He's an independent candidate, and the National Assembly seat is NA 129, Lahore 13. It has been won by an independent candidate. The runner-up has been Muhammad Numan from the PMLN, who's garnered a total vote of 71,540 in his favor. So the winner is clearly Mia Muhammad Azhar, who is an independent candidate with 103,718 votes. Usman, Chohan, we were talking about the importance of the whole voting process and how important is it for each and every individual to vote and to feel responsible as a part of a whole, like you just said. All right, we're all ears.
The idea that democracy is an imperfect system is valid, but there is one big merit of it, and that is that every person should feel part of a common destiny. In that sense of a common destiny, as Namrah was telling us, there are people who are just coming of age to vote, there are people who are disabled or otherwise impaired, and they also feel that they are collectively helping to change the course of a nation. This is the singular benefit of this. Otherwise, in other systems, you must have a lot of legitimacy vested in one person, perhaps a divine right of kings, perhaps something like that. Otherwise, democracy has the idea that it doesn't matter who it was and who I am, but we're working together towards common projects.
And that commonality of projects is extremely important for a nation to build itself as one. I think the nationhood, the whole feeling of nationhood needs to be imbibed in a much stronger fashion in a country like Pakistan. It needs this nationhood more than ever now.
I agree with you, and I want to reiterate the importance of the democratic process in Pakistan, because Pakistan is a soft power project. It is a democratic project. People voted with their feet, people voted with their lives. There was great sacrifices given for it, both in East and West Pakistan, because people were mesmerized and tantalized by this idea that we together can reawaken a civilization that has been subjugated by Western imperialism and local agents. That same spirit has to continue across generations, that this sacrifice has been given because it was a democratic project in unison, done together.
I totally agree with you that. And you know, Namrah, when we look at the whole process of voting, whether you voted or I voted or everybody else who voted, the thing is that it's the whole voting process that is very important, and we need to have that sense of voting, like you talked about the experience of the young boy who was determined to vote because he thought that it was a responsibility on his shoulders. Do you feel we are growing up in an age where the youth, whether it be the women or girls, and through your experience also I'd like to understand that in the field, have become more responsible as to their attitude towards the voting process is concerned?
Yes, definitely. When you like, I was covering NA 46, which is like the mostly the urban center, and you know, G10, F10, F11, F7, F8, and you know, it starts from G10 to all the way to Ternol, and you know, I would say social media and education and all these aspects have really, you know, made our next generation aware of what they should be doing. I mean, they wouldn't make the same mistakes that probably we did or generations before us did. So you know, it's like it's a whole process, and we do have made many mistakes in the past, through which we suffered as well. But you know, I would say the process should go on, and you know, people are citizens, as responsible citizens should keep growing towards more responsible citizens.
Okay, we've been joined by the chairperson of the Election Commission of Pakistan. So thank you very much to have joined us and to be part of this important transmission on PTV World. How important has been the role of the Election Commission of Pakistan in the whole voting process? And of course, we are seeing the results that are coming officially through your website as well.
First of all, thank you for taking me on, but I am the resource, the spokesperson,
Okay.
Nighat Siddique,
Okay,
and
so
not the chairperson.
Welcome back to the transmission, Nighat.
The election that took place yesterday has been very, very peaceful, and the process was followed as per the law. There was a big voter turnout, and the trend was that it started pouring in, it started increasing after 2 p.m. And just a minute.
Okay, I can understand. The spokesperson of the Election Commission of Pakistan, Nighat Siddique, is with us, and we understand the responsibility that is on everybody's shoulders. Also, the spokesperson of the ECP, because of the fact that you know she has to look at 10 different angles, at 10 different things at the same time, and to be here 24/7. Nighat Siddique, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So
okay, Nighat Siddique, so kindly give us a little bit of an outlook as far as the whole election process till now is concerned.
yeah, something very exciting happened yesterday, and that was there was a big number of women voter turnout, and there were long lines of women very eager to cast a vote. That shows the kind of interest that the voters have, and the kind of trust that they have in the system. It was overall a very peaceful election. It ended very well. The poll closed very well. What I can say is that it's very important for us to understand the process after close of poll. Now, as I said, the trend was that the voters started coming in after 2 p.m. and as per the law, whoever is within the boundary of the polling station is supposed to cast his or her vote. Now, if there are 100 people or 150 people, the presiding officer of the polling station is by law legally bound to let them all cast their vote. So that's what delayed as the first step. And then after the closure of the poll, the counting starts, and the presiding officer starts counting in front of the polling agent sitting in the polling station. After the count, he gets the Form 45 signed by the polling agent sitting in his polling station, and then he puts it at a conspicuous place outside the polling station. He pastes Form 45 outside the polling station for the public to see. After that, he packs up all the sensitive and non-sensitive material of election material, because he has to carry it back to the RO's office to hand over to the RO. Now, from that area, there are 6, 7, or 10 presiding officers who are going to move together as a convoy along with the security personnel, because they're carrying a very sensitive document, because in the presence of the polling agent, this Form 45 is sealed in a tamper evident bag. And all the presiding officers carry these tamper evident bags with the security along with the election materials to the RO's office. Now imagine around 500 or 700 presiding officers moving towards the RO's office. They have to stand there in line, give their election material, that is that compartment of screen where you cast your vote behind the screen, that, then the ballot boxes, then the packet, then the seals and everything back to the RO's office. Then the RO opens up that tamper evident bag in front of everyone, takes out Form 45, looks at it if it's okay or if calculation is done okay. If presiding officer has signed it, stamped it, put his thumb impression on it, all these are check boxes that he has to check these points. After checking it, then he, through his data entry operator, he punches it into the EMS election management system, from where Form 45 is added to Form 47. Now he does the same thing with 700 presiding officers. It's one man doing all this process with 700 presiding officers. Initially, we were planning to do it through a mobile app that every presiding officer had, and he only had to take a picture and send it to the RO office. The moment it reached the RO office, it would have gotten fed into the RO's EMS system instantly. But because of some connection problem, the connectivity, this mobile service and its connectivity, they had to carry it personally by hand, manually, and do it manually and take it there. Once that was received by the RO, then he started tabulation in Form 47. That takes time. We all have to understand that takes time. Even if we give 15 minutes to each presiding officer for taking the form and punching it into EMS, imagine now multiply those 15 minutes to 700 people. And then I'm talking about an ideal situation where the presiding officers reach quickly to the RO's office. In Balochistan, in other distant areas where there's a tough terrain, imagine the distance they have to cover to reach the RO's office. And imagine the security situation that they have to have, they have to cater for to reach the RO's office. We should factor all these things in when we talk about any kind of process, electoral process, and the different stages that we go through. But Alhamdulillah, we've received a big number of, I think more than 50% of the results, and now the momentum is built up. We are receiving the results very quickly now.
All right, Nighat, Siddique, when should we expect the whole process to end? Is there an approximate time, or is there a due process that will take its time? And of course, as and when the whole process ends, we'll be getting the results.
The process is already, as I said, the momentum is built, and it's picking up speed now. we're very hopeful that it will end soon.
All right. We also, I'd like to also, clarify something. We call these results unofficial and unverified until a notification comes from the Election Commission of Pakistan that puts its confirmation seal on these seats. How much of a time difference is there between all the results that come out and then the notification that is officially released by the Election Commission of Pakistan?
These are not final results, because if you remember, there's this postal ballot that is also very much there. After compilation of Form 47, Form 48 is prepared the next day, which will include all the results from 47, and then the postal ballot that has been received at the RO's office on 7th of February, a day before the poll. That is in a sealed form. It will be opened in front of the candidates or the polling agents. An RO is going to give a notice of that. Everybody will be there when they are opened and added. And then Form 48 will be prepared. That's the final result.
All right, and then you will issue the notification that will put the seal of confirmation to the number of seats and, of course, the candidates who have won. All right, thank you very much, Nighat Siddique, spokesperson of the Election Commission of Pakistan, joining us, giving us more details about how this process is going to move along from here onwards. And of course, she gave details about Form 45, Form 47, Form 48, that will be the ultimate form that will be released once the postal ballots are also opened in the presence of the candidates or the polling agents. And I think it's an interesting process to understand as well, because again, a lot of people love to spread false information or disinformation on different social media platforms, and now this thing has been clarified once and for all. Usman, when it comes to the whole voting process, and of course result and the whole excitement that is associated with it, we all feel as if we're going through a live rendition of some kind of an important event that is going on in our country. And it is an important event, doesn't happen every year. What is the onus of responsibility of all those who have won, and how important will their roles be, irrespective of their political parties or their political affiliation, to come together as one and have a joint consensus on important issues that are relevant to Pakistan, especially economy?
You've posed an excellent question, which has multiple parts, which speak to one fundamental value, and that value is integrity. The integrity of the system is necessary. Legitimacy of the system is necessary, and it's legitimacy not just in terms of the officials who are elected, but also that the public confers a degree of trust in the system. In terms of the procedural elements of voting, because we are now 1/4 of the way through the 21st century, perhaps there are more modern systems that we could have. A lot of my research focuses on things such as the blockchain, and the blockchain is not just about economics, it is also about having consensus building and ensuring that things are not tampered with, whatever the process is in question. And so there's far more that you can have, and even though you may say, well, there's so many remote areas, so many rural people, etc., keep in mind that there are 128 million people who can vote, and it's about 120 million people who have mobile phones. So the overlap is pretty much 1-for-1, and wherever there's gaps, it can be filled. So there's much more in terms of complementing legitimacy with transparency, with efficiency. These are the values that should guide any decision-making process that involves consensus at a large scale. And one final point is that when you mention that it's important because it doesn't happen every year, it happens 5 years, it's not just that it's important for Pakistan. This is an event of monumental consequences for the rest of the world, because Pakistan is such an important country.
A lot of eyes are focused on Pakistan right now.
Yes, and it isn't by coincidence that right now there's such a keen eye of the world on this, because Pakistan is such an important country, and what the next 5 years and future years will be for a country that is at the crossroads of global geopolitics and geoeconomics, it will matter a lot what decisions are taken.
That is true. And when I was talking to the spokesperson of the Election Commission of Pakistan, she was here in the studios, and today we managed to talk to her a little bit about the whole process and the continuity and the continuation of this election process. She told me that the male-female parity or the gender difference between 2018 and 2024 has been significantly reduced from around 11% to 7%. So there are more women compared to 2018, and she said that a lot of effort goes to us and all the other community members who have gone to all the universities, explained the importance of the whole voting process and how everybody needs to be involved in it. Do you feel, as also as an educationist, Dr. Usman, that we need to also have lectures on the political process and the voting process in universities and colleges, so as to give a more extensive idea of how this goes along, and imbibe the the essence of responsibility as a citizen to these upcoming youth of Pakistan?
Yes, and I think you're presenting an outstanding recommendation because there was a time in Pakistan civics was a course taken, and this civics disappeared because we wanted to go towards more functional courses. I don't see the utility of having just functionalism in an education, because as our language presents you, there's the talim and the tarbiyat. So we have the tarbiyat element, which is also the grooming of the individual. In that regard, having lessons given on how electoral processes work is important. I would go a step further. Not only should it be that they are educated, but it should we should actually have something like mandatory voting in Pakistan. There's about 25 countries of very different types that have this, where you are legally obliged to vote. So I would be criminal for me not to go to vote, even if I have to just cast a blank ballot. And having efficiency metrics to have that made possible would be a huge plus, supplemented by an education about the importance and the methodology of it being done.
Namrah, how important is the role of the media in this whole voting process? How important has it been, and how important will it be now that the whole voting process is ending and the results are being compiled and we are seeing the official results? How responsible should the media be?
Well, over the years, the media has also, learned a lot, and over the years the media has gotten more responsible as well, and I think it's a huge responsibility on part of the media that they give the truth out, and not just things that are not confirmed or things that are not verified. So it is actually very, very important, because when you go out, as in I go out in the field, I have to be very, very careful in quoting what I'm saying, and each one number counts, and I can't misquote.
Of course, and also whatever the people say has to be reproduced in the exact manner as it was said.
Yeah, because the one responsibility that I feel we as a media person we have is people should not lose trust in us. That should be the base of all ethics. That whatever we are saying, whatever we are giving out is the right, correct information.
That is a very good point that you've raised. Trust, Usman. This is so important even for any politician who will come as a result of these votes. Needs to have that element of trust of the nation, of his constituency. Of course, he has it because he's garnered the number of votes, but now it's his role as a member of the parliament, whether it be the National Assembly or the Provincial Assembly, and gain the trust of even those who have not voted for him. How important is this whole process? Do you feel that we as a nation need to be more apprehensive and understanding of this whole trust process?
Yeah, I think you're laying the correct emphasis on what happens after the election. We as a society have a very, in Urdu we would say tamashbeen, so we have a very spectator orientation, so we're seeing a spectacle, but we really have to think about what happens after, and trust will be endowed in the people who come from this process if it is considered legitimate, and it should be considered legitimate. In that context, when the difficult decisions have to be made, particularly with regards to the economy or institutional reform or even electoral reform, reform, you will have to have people who have that trust, who can persuade the people that sacrifices have to be made. Because the way our economy is misstructured, there are few people gaining at the benefit of the many. For them, the many, therefore, they have to be persuaded to have a sacrifice, that the process is painful, but at the end there will be something better for everybody. If you do not trust the person who is making those claims, then you will not be willing to undertake that sacrifice and express yourself in antisocial ways. And what we want is for a social process to occur.
All right. That is a very interesting point that you've raised, and it's pertinent for all the members of the National Provincial Assembly to not only be responsible citizens of our communities that they represent, but also imbibe that trust, so that we as citizens can rely on them for the politicians. We have to go to some results that have come, Namrah, and then I'll come back to you. Some of the National Assembly seats that have results that have come: NA 117 Lahore 1. Abdul Aleem Khan of IPP has won with a total vote count in his favor of 91,489. The runner-up here has been Ali Ijaz, who is an independent candidate with a vote count of 80,838. So the clear winner is Abdul Aleem Khan, IPP. Now let's go to NA 125 Lahore 9. The winner is Muhammad Afzal from the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz with a total vote count in his favor of 65,102. NA 125 goes to the PMLN kitty. And of course, the runner-up is Javed Umar, who is an independent candidate with a total vote count of 51,144. So Muhammad Afzal from the PMLN wins this seat. Now let's go to NA 126 Lahore 10. Malik Saiful Muluk Khokar of the PMLN is the clear winner here with a total vote count of 67,117. This is NA 126 Lahore 10, won by PMLN. The runner-up here is Malik Tawqir Abbas Khokar, another Khokar, 60,479 votes, and he's an independent candidate. So of course the clear winner here is Malik Saiful Muluk Khokar from the PMLN. Let's go now to another seat of Lahore, NA 128 Lahore 12, won by Muhammad On Saqlan of the IPP. The total votes that went in his favor were 172,576. NA 128 Lahore 12, won by the IPP through Muhammad On Saqlan. The runner-up here has been Salman Akram Raja, who is an independent candidate, 159,024 votes in his favor. Let's go now to NA 131 Kasoor 1. PMLN's Saad Wasim has been the clear winner for this National Assembly seat, garnering a total vote number of 108,714. The runner-up here has been Muhammad Masood Sabir Angari, who's an independent candidate, with a total vote count of 77,966. So Saad Wasim from the PMLN is a clear winner here. Let's go now to NA 137 Okada 3. Sayyid Raza Ali Gilani, who's an independent candidate, has won this National Assembly seat, getting a total vote count of 131,925 in his favor. The runner-up here has been Rao Muhammad Ajmal Khan from the PMLN with a total vote count of 105,381. So Sayyid Raza Ali Gilani, who's an independent candidate, gets this seat of Okada 3, NA 137. Now let's go towards the total party position as per the total number of results that we have received from the Election Commission of Pakistan. 156 seats have now had official results come out of the Election Commission of Pakistan, and here is the table as far as the party position is concerned. 62 seats have been taken by the independents, 46 by the PMLN. Pakistan People's Party parliamentarians has gotten 39 seats in their favor, 4 are MQMP and others are 5. So of course the clear not winner, but the one who is having the lead here are the independents with 62 seats, followed by the PMLN, and of course the Pakistan People's Parliamentarians are on number 3. With that, we end this very transmission. It has been interesting, and of course other colleagues of mine will be following this up with giving you more results as far as the National Provincial Assembly seats are concerned. This is a continued process which will go on till the results are compiled, still all of them come, and of course then will be the part of Form 48 and the final notification by the Election Commission of Pakistan, which will declare these candidates as the winners. Umar, Khalid bids you farewell, and I'd like to thank my two guests who were here with me throughout this hour. Namrah, Sohail, thank you very much, Namrah, and of course Dr. Usman, Chohan, to have been here and to have contributed your part as far as the information or highlighting what needs to be done now that the voting process is about to end is concerned. Thank you very much to the both of you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, will be followed by the news, followed by more of our co-anchors who will be highlighting different aspects of this election process, while at the same time giving you more seat numbers. Allah Hafiz.